Hello everybody, good morning if you're here in the Philippines. We are over at BitToys right now. As you can see, beautiful place. A lot of people definitely want to come to this restaurant and get some good seafood, Filipino food, you name it. They have kind of everything for everybody. And tide's in right now, quite a bit actually, so it'll be out a little later. Anyway, so we're gonna make this video about something that's apparently very important. So we're always making videos about explaining yes, it's very hard to pull the trigger and move to the Philippines. You know, give up everything behind. And you know, these videos are consistent across the internet. But I feel like every fifth message, maybe every fourth message is, hi, I want to move there, but how do I do that? Like, how do I get a visa? How do I get there? Where do I go? What do I do? That kind of thing. I guess, yeah, we all talk about it, but we do it in this video, we talk about one thing, and another video, you talk about another. So I'll just put it all in one, okay? So this is your all-in-one, how to move to the Philippines. I'm not talking about selling all of your stuff back home in order to, get over here or that kind of thing. I'm not, that part, you're gonna have to handle that yourself. But a few things I should point out. Like, if you're gonna come here, once you have an SRV, you're allowed to bring $15,000 worth of personal goods. And so yes, you can ship $15,000 worth of stuff here to relocate your life. But you can't get an SRV back in the West. You have to come here on your tourist visa, which you'll get immediately. We'll talk about that. And then apply. And then when you get it, then you have the right to ship it in. And so when you're first coming, for me, I sold everything, and just had 2 big suitcases for myself. And that was it. I didn't plan for anything else, because you can buy everything here, and often much cheaper, especially much cheaper than when it comes to factoring in the freight duty or anything like that. The 15,000 is the duty-free part. A lot of people want to bring their motorbike here, or, they have a Harley, or they have a really nice truck or whatever, and you want to ship it here to the Philippines. My understanding, it's 50 to 100% duty on that. And so if it's worth 20,000, you're going to have to pay 20,000, plus you're going to pay to ship it. It just doesn't make any sense. There's a Harley dealership in Cebu and Manila. There may be more, but I know for sure in those 2. And you can get your Harley here. That's not going to be a problem. Just buy new, sell or buy new here. And then if you want to get, Ford pickup trucks, well, we have Ford here. We have Toyota here. Not the exact models all the time, but models are made for more Asia culture here. But you can get, most of the stuff you're going to want. So it's easier to, obviously, to just sell it all and come. So that's all I'll say about it. That, like I said, that part's on you. What I'll do is I'll help you with the part that, when you come here. So when you get to the airport, most airlines, and they're supposed to do it, so most airlines do it, back in the West, you show up in Los Angeles or whatever with your flight to Manila or Cebu, their airline is going to require you to prove that you have a flight leaving within 30 days. We call that a throwaway ticket here if you're coming for good, or if you're coming for many months, that kind of thing. And so you have 2 options. Some people do intend to just scout it out, and they're only going to come for 1 or 2 or 3 months. And so what you can do is you can get your ticket for 28 days from now, and then contact the airline later and say, I'd like to push that flight out to whatever, 2 months out, or the actual date you want to leave. But you do have to have a return flight within 30 days by the time your visa expires. So what are you going to do about that, right? Well, there's actually a better option for everybody, and it's $15. And that is, there's a multitude of these throwaway ticket websites, onwardticket.com, I think throwawayticket.com is one too, where they provide you with a real airline ticket, but your $15 is like a reservation fee. And so they say, okay, here you go, here's your ticket, so that says you are leaving within 30 days, an actual flight, say to Hong Kong. You just have to leave the country, right? So Hong Kong, whatever. And then all you do is just never show up for it, because on the ticket it says you have to pay the balance within like 3 days of the actual flight, and you're never going to do that. So it's perfect. And so $15, you call it a throwaway ticket, you're just throwing it away. And before you leave, and I think it's within 3 days before you go, you have to get your eTravel. So that is eTravel.gov.ph. It's a simple little form you fill out, really basic. You have to create an account, you have to have an email address, all that kind of stuff. Your flight has to be booked because you have to put your flight details in there. And that way when you arrive, all you're going to do is go to customs. You're going to be like, hi, I'm here as a tourist. I am leaving in 30 days to Hong Kong, or whatever your throwaway ticket says, or a real ticket if you really want. Here is my QR code, or I think that's what they give you, a QR code. It's been a long time for me. You show that. It's a really simple process. Say, okay, no problem. And there you go. They're going to hand it to you. It's going to be so straightforward, honestly. It's the simplest thing ever. So get your 30 days right there. And then once you get out of there, you're going to pick up your luggage. You can get your SIM cards there. It's a little bit more money there than everywhere else, like 500 pesos, so $10 more, $8 more. But it's just convenience that you're leaving the airport with a working SIM card with just get your basic data and stuff like that. After that, you should know that we only spend less than 500 pesos, so less than $8 a month for a crazy amount of data and unlimited text and calling and all that kind of stuff. So keep that in mind. Just when you're at the airport, it is a higher price. Just get yourself everything you need so you can get grab or directions and data and everything else. Just real simple. You do have an option of going to immigration in Manila when you're there and getting it automatically renewed for an extra 30 days to buy yourself a lot of time. It's already there, so it depends. If you really want to spend a little bit more time, or if you've been sitting on a plane for 24 hours, you might be like, just get me my destination. I'll go in a couple weeks. Because within 2 weeks, you're going to have to go to an immigration anyway and get your extension. And you can keep extending that for up to 3 years without having to leave the country. And then even then, you only have to leave the country and come right back. Technically, it doesn't even have to be a full day, but you're going to probably make it worthwhile and take a vacation, go to Thailand or something for a few days and pop back in. And then you're going to get another 3 years. It's exactly the same thing, repeat and rinse. But you're going to find that, especially when you get to 1 year and renewing at immigration, they're going to finally say to you, listen, let's get you a more permanent visa. And now this is all assuming you don't have a Filipino wife or anything. So when you hit that 1 year, they'll bring you in for a little interview and they'll be like, how about, we talk about a retirement visa for you, that kind of thing. And I'm not going to turn this into a whole video about retirement visas. I have plenty of ones for the visas and stuff like that. You don't need all of that. But it is a lot easier than you're thinking it is to come to the Philippines. It's literally that easy. There's not this big process. You don't have to be pre-approved back in America, Canada. You just show up at the airport. Other than that, you have to have that QR code from the e-government travel thing. You don't need anything else. Just come here. Yeah, you're maxed at $10,000 US, but you can use your credit cards in many places. Not the average place, but I'm saying hotels and big restaurants, especially if you're in Manila or Cebu. But you can use your debit card at ATMs and places like that. Keep in mind, there is a pretty big ATM fee if you don't have the type of account that gives you international ATM fees reimbursed. But yeah, don't think about too much. It's not easy to come here. The most important thing for everybody to understand is it isn't that hard. It's so easy to come here. You can come check it out for like a month, or you can just stay. You don't have to worry about anything. The Philippines has one of the best visas for tourism and retirement. Like, for most people, especially if you're military, oh my God, $1,500, you can have a permanent resident visa, and that $1,500 is not the fee, it's just a deposit, so it goes in your bank account. Yeah, you got to pay the fees for the processing and stuff like that, but by and far, all the other countries around here, and well, probably around the world, they just don't offer that kind of value. Now, bank account. You're not going to be able to get a bank account here for at least 3 months. And that's because you have to have an ACR card in order to open a bank account, and you're not going to be given that right away. That's going to come 2 to 3 months into your process of visas when you come to the Philippines. And so even then, I will explain that in a minute, So you're really going to be limited to using your US bank accounts, that kind of thing. Another thing I use, personally use it all the time, is I use Wise. So if you don't know, Wise is got the best exchange rates of all apps, including banks, by the way. So I have a bank account in the Philippines on there. I have a bank account in Singapore. I have a bank account in England. I have a bank account in Canada and the United States. Real bank accounts. You go into Wise, you create your account, whatever. You fund it with your normal bank account, right? That you have back in the West. And then you just pick, and you can pick, I can't remember the number, it's like up to 23 or 30 different countries. And you say, okay, I want an account in this currency, this currency, this currency. And they give you real bank accounts, like real. I'm transit numbers, branch ID, like everything you're going to need that you can go to any bank and wire transfer or whatever. And then I can send money back and forth. So I can send it to somebody here, I can send it to myself. Like once you have a Philippines bank account, it's so fast, it's instantaneous. Where when I send a normal bank transfer, it takes 3 business days, and depending on what's going on, if it's a weekend and then a holiday or something, it could be 4 or 5 days to get my money from Canada. With Wise, it's instant. Minute, maybe, I don't know. Sometimes it's like 5 minutes, but for the most part, it's very, very quick. So I'm going to highly recommend Wise. And until you have a bank account here, you can just pick it up at all kinds of locations. They're all over the Philippines, because money transfer is a big business in the Philippines. Something like 2 trillion pesos a year is transferred from the United States into the Philippines, something like that. Or maybe it's all worldwide, either way. But it's a big part of the economy here. So there are a million places. Doesn't matter how provincial you get, there's a place to pick up money transfer stuff. And so you can send from your Wise right to them and then just collect the money. It's so quick. So I highly recommend that. I always have the link in the description here or on my free website with resources. If you use my link, you get your first transfer for free, no transfer fee, and I get $10. So I don't hide that, by the way. I get $10. It's cool. It's a referral thing. And then when you do hit your period where you get your ACR card, keep in mind it's not going to be easy to open a bank account. Most banks here don't really like foreigners on tourist visas. They just don't. They're like, you could leave tomorrow sort of thing. Even though they're only going to give you a savings account, they're not going to give you a checking account. So to me, I don't see the risk. But I went to 4 different BPI branches. That's the bank I'm using, Bank of the Philippines, and in Iloilo. And the first 3 all said no. Nope, not interested. Nope, nobody's interested. And then, so I just realized real quick after the first couple, you just go in, hi, is the bank manager here? Thank you. Walk over to the bank manager. Hello, I'm here. I have my ACR card. Would you open a bank account with me or no? And let them answer you. And then you don't have to wait in line for all this time just to be rejected in the end anyway. Save yourself the time. That way you can get out and get to another branch. And yeah, so even within blocks of each other, same brand of bank, I did finally get one that said yes, because it's all branch manager or regional manager in some banks. It's up to their discretion. So another thing that people have to realize, like when you're coming here for the first time, you're doing your exploring, I guess you call it, just because you don't have your home base yet or anything, you figured it all out. When you want to stay for a month, even up to 3 months, it's not going to be the same cost of living that you see with people that are long-term. You know, you're going to have to stay in much more like hotels and stuff like that. You're not going to get like what you see people renting all the time here on these 12-month contracts. You're not really going to get that 1 month. The landlord itself just doesn't want to deal with that kind of stuff. He's not going to give you the 20,000 pesos for 1 month for it. It does happen, don't get me wrong. It's just such a rare thing that everybody wants long-term, because their costs of, you know, furnishing it and getting everything ready and utilities. I got a big problem with utilities when people are renting only for 1 month. The utility bill comes in 2 weeks after that month. And so you're really going to have to depend on Airbnb, or just on, you know, booking like 2 to 3 nights hotel, go around and see what you can figure out and negotiate. But for the most part, you're just not going to be able to get, like a lot of people message me and expect, oh, I want to rent a house down here, you know, fully furnished, everything, just for a month. It's going to be a fortune to get somebody to agree to that for those reasons I just explained. You know, it's just too short of a time period. So the cost of living is always going to be much higher until you get yourself settled. You're basically a tourist. We talk about this all the time, like the English language is the spoken language here, which makes everything so easy. When you arrive at the airport, everybody's going to speak to you, no problem. Every form is going to be in English because every legal document in the Philippines is in English, not in Filipino. It's like having, well, they're a republic, so it's like having American law here in many cases. No juries, but it's a very easy transition to come down here to the Philippines. So yeah, all the people that are messaging me, please don't overthink it. Just come. Just come, enjoy, come for a visit first. I think that's always smart, and then head back. But I say that's always smart, but I didn't do that. I'd never been to the Philippines before, and I came here and never left. I didn't come directly here. I had other countries I lived in, but it's one of the best countries in the world for just starting over. And this one here, by the way, this is Jacques Coffee. Yeah, they have really, really good coffee in there. It's not bad for rainy season. We got a lot of rain, but it's by the time 11 o'clock in the morning comes, it gets all beautiful again, and then late at night, it just rains again. It's not so bad. When I had the restaurant bar, like King Beaver's still running, but I don't run it anymore. I hated this time of year because, well, when you have a restaurant bar, the one time for business is dinner time, and it was always raining. Since I'm trying to put as many things into this one video to help you as much as possible, I'll mention the cars. So if you want to drive a car, rent a car, that kind of thing, Facebook is a great place to rent a car. The airports, the big major ones like Clark, Cebu, I believe too, and Manila, they do have like the Avis and those type of companies, but many others around the country do not have that. And so what you can do is just go on Facebook and look up a rental car place. Make sure they're not a scam. And the best way to do that is just look through the profile. You can be like, oh yeah, they clearly rent all of the time, and there's pictures of people with their cars and the comments, and you can get a good idea if you do a little bit of research just looking at it. And you rent cars here pretty cheap, like about $25 a day, $30. Yeah, pretty decent like that. And fuel is more money than America. It's about the same as Canada. But yeah, the country's very small when it comes to driving, so driving distance is very little, and you can go a very long time before you'll ever need to fill the tank. But you can use your home driver's license from Canada, America, Australia, wherever, for 90 days. And then at 90 days, you have to show up at the LTO, and they will give you an exact copy. So here's your driver's license from Canada, US, whatever. You'll pay the fee, and they'll give you a Philippines driver's license, and then you'll have both that way, right? And then you'll have your Philippines ID. You'll already have it because you'll have an ACR card, and that's just something that's going to come automatically when you keep going to immigration, when you hit 2 months and trying to renew for your 3rd month. So yeah, I don't want to overcomplicate this because it is literally that easy. It's not a complicated process to come to the Philippines. Yeah, you'll have to land in Manila or Cebu, and then you can get a connecting flight to anywhere you want. Flights within the country are very easy to get. Usually $20, $30, $40. The prices have gone up a bit, so now sometimes you're seeing $100. But it's not like it is traveling in the West or anything. And of course you can take buses and many other places. There's a lot of ferries here too. But getting around won't be a problem. You will be able to figure everything out. You can do it like crazy, like we do sometimes, right, Lara? We travel crazy sometimes? Yeah, we do. We do. And by the way, I let her dress herself today. Her mother was so mad. What? I'm like, I didn't pick out her clothes. I just told her to go get changed. How old were you when you got this? Probably 3A? This dress? Yeah, you don't fit it no more, do you? Yeah, so she's wearing like pants underneath it and everything. So cute. Anyway, if you have further questions, I made a whole website for free. I'm not trying to sell you anything. ThatParadiseLife.com. It's got lots of resources, links, and everything. There's a quiz on there, which you answer 14 questions about your personality. And then from that, it will tell you, these are the best places for you to go, maybe to live, in the Philippines that match your personality type. And yeah, I think it's pretty darn accurate. Everybody keeps telling me it is, so I think it is very, very accurate and very helpful for a lot of people because Wow, Philippines just seems so exotic, right? Not many people, unless you've been here many, many times, it all just seems too much, too big, I don't know what I'm doing. Just, they've heard of Manila, they've heard of Cebu, that kind of thing. So hopefully it helps. It's absolutely free, and I'm looking forward to meeting a bunch of you, hopefully, not tomorrow, 2 more days. 3 more days from today, actually, at the July 4th 250th anniversary for America. They have it in Iloilo City. It's posted on my Facebook. It's also, I posted on the community tab of this channel. Down there, we're all going to be down there. We're going to treat it like an expat meetup at the same time. It's going to be a lot of fun. And, you know, I'm a Canadian, but they invited me, so why not? But everybody's welcome at it, they said, so that's pretty awesome. So hopefully we'll see you. And thank you very much for joining, guys. We'll see you again. Bye-bye. Mango shake.
At 29 and I find myself wondering what did happen to the last 10. I ran away with my life fast